cross stitching runner and welcome to my channel. I want to say a big hello and welcome to all new and returning viewers, and if by chance you've stumbled across this channel is all about cross stitch with a bit of life stuff thrown in, and I'm really excited about this particular episode because I've got 2.5 finishes. What on earth is the world coming to in my world? What on earth is the world coming to? So this is where I'm really excited to share with you those 2 finishes and the progress that I've made on a third project that is like this close to getting fully finished. And today is Sunday, the 3rd of September. Here in Australia, it is Father's Day. So happy Father's Day to all fathers and fathers to be, fathers who have also passed away, unfortunately, as well. So I hope that you've been able to spend some time with your dad, or let them know that you love them, think of them where you can. So today, wow, it's a lot going on. I also just want to apologise for any background noise that you might hear. It is a beautiful, beautiful sunny day here at Wollongong, and it means that also with it being a Sunday and beautiful weather, it means that there are a lot of people out and enjoying that weather. So we do have a lot of people who are riding very loud motorbikes, loud vehicles that may have like a crackling, backfiring exhaust pipes and such as well. So I've done what I can to try and reduce noise levels. So I just want to apologise for people who may be wearing earphones and the bursts of loud noise that I just don't have control over. So just, hopefully things will be all right. And let's get into the whole stitching side of things. There is a bit of life stuff as well that I'm keen to share with you all as well. Also a bit of haul that's in conjunction with some life stuff that has been going on. So let's get into the stitching first. Okay, I know that to make good episodes, viewing, that kind of thing, I really should do the anticipation building sort of thing, but I'm too excited. I can't do that. So this first finish that I'm really keen to share with you is Water Tiger 2. This is one that I've been raving on about for quite a few months, about aiming to get it done by mid to late September at the latest, for my best mate's birthday that is mid-October. It's done. And today, just after lunch, Michael and I we went out to lunch, and then I popped up the road to Spotlight, and I found a frame that I think will work for this. I feel a bit nervous about framing it up in terms of the color choice. It's going to be a black frame with black matting, just to really make the most of the colors that we see here. And my nervousness is that my friend's home has a fairly neutral color palette, with wall colors, that kind of thing, which can be a good thing, can be a bad thing. And I'm hoping that things will work out, and that worst case scenario, because I'm framing it, it's not going to be professionally done, which will make it easier for my friend to get it professionally framed if she chooses to find a different frame that could actually work for her home, but also complement the project as well. So I got this one finished maybe 2 weeks ago maximum. So maybe a couple of days after my last episode, I was able to finish this off, and I'm just super proud of it. Okay, so next round of finishes, well, not round of finishes, but the next finish is 12 Days of Christmas. So yesterday, as part of some travels, I was able to pick up some more gold thread. So I'd run out because the gold thread that we needed for some of the back stitching, it really makes that difference. So I was using Kreinik rather than the DMC metallic thread, and I think it just really made the difference. And in the chart as well, I actually chose to use, oh gosh, don't even remember the number now, but in the chart with the backstitch border that we see, I chose to use some cotton, stranded cotton instead, because it was just going to be way too much of a pain in the neck to try and do that with Kreinik or the DMC metallic. I just was not going to have the patience for it at all. So this is where, yeah, I just think it's turned out really well. And I'll, over the next few days, during my lunch break, head up to Spotlight and see if I can get another frame that will actually be the right length for this one, because I guess with a lot of the frames that we've got available here in where I am at least, are the traditional A4, A3 or poster sizes and that kind of thing. And yeah, I'll wait and see. The good thing though is that I'll probably hang this up down in Canberra where home is, because I I'll be running out of space around here. But I think this one will be nice. This one will be seasonal, so it's no worries on that one. And even if it is hanging up all year round, especially if it's hanging up all year round in Canberra, that'll be fine. That'll be absolutely okay. And yeah, so it just felt really nice to get this one done. Um, I think I'd started this one back 2019. No, perhaps earlier, perhaps around 18, 19. Um, yeah, it could have been roughly around that timing. So yeah, this is looking really cool. I really do like it. And the spool of Kreinik that I picked up to do the remaining bits in that piece, that blew my mind in terms of how easy it actually was to work with. When I first started doing the gold backstitch and such, because I was getting towards the end of the spool, I was using maybe two strands, and yeah, I wasn't completely happy with how that was going. It felt flimsy and weak, and yeah, just uncomfortable to use. So with the I guess the new spool that I picked up that I'll be able to share with you soon, um, I think it almost worked out to being nearly four strands, because just a single strand is just really thin. And what I also found when I was using that gold Kreinik was that with the new spool, because it had been so tightly, perfectly wound, that it would hold its shape quite well. And it had me thinking that if I was going to use it for another project, so I guess Fight Like a Girl could be a good example, where if I wanted to actually have some embroidery on it and actually have hair, like rather than doing the cross stitches for the hair, and actually have maybe some loose threads instead, that could work really well. That could be like a unique feature for that piece. I've just given myself some ideas. I'll wait and see how things go for that, because I believe that there'll definitely be other characters throughout the piece that I could do that gold hair for. Wait and see. Wait and see. Um, the next project that I have to share with you is my half piece. That's almost done. So it's like this close. So I am on the final motif for Dictionary of Dogs. This is a Bothy Threads kit, and I guess over the last few days especially, I've been working on this motif here. I can't remember the nickname for this one, but it's the actual cross stitches have been done. Just got to do the back stitch, and I've now moved on to the grassy area for here, and it's the last motif. And with the aim that I've got to get as many projects finished, hopefully for the rest of this year. I just need to finish off the last motif. I do need to do some stitching like in the very pale yellow area up here. There's just like maybe one line of yellow stitching there, and then all the fun with the back stitching. So the back stitching for Much of a Matchness should flow fairly well, and yeah, I'll be able to maybe figure out where some more mistakes are that I've made, but I think it'll go really well. And I'm not going to put a time frame on when this will get done. So I remember in the comments, Rebecca and I were having a bit of a chat about um, time frames, and that I shouldn't worry so much about putting a time frame on projects, because I think we both agreed that it is very much about just having that fun of stitching, and rather than being worried about getting things done by a particular time. And that said, speaking of time frames, timelines, that kind of thing, that's going to fit in a little bit with some plans that I'll be able to talk about fairly soon. But I've got just one more piece to share with you that I've done a bit of work on, and we can then start talking about plans and what I want to do and time frames and whether they really need to be worried about or anything like that. Okay, so I guess the last piece that I've really been able to get any kind of stitching progress on is Dewdrop Daisy. So with Dewdrop Daisy, definitely a piece I've been fairly regularly talking about, at least for the last couple of years at least. And the finished piece, when I get rotations around the right way, this is sort of roughly what it'll look like when it's done. And I've been stitching this using all DMC threads, 2/2, uh, using probably 28 count, if not 20. God, could be even 32. Goodness knows. It's fabric that I've had in my stash for ages, and this is where I'm at. So I've started stitching. I guess in the center you might be able to see. I guess in near the center of the flower. I'm just going to fold this up just a little bit more to help show where I've been focusing on for, I guess, the last couple of weeks. Okay, so it's been sort of this area here. I'm really wanting to try and fill in and hopefully maybe stitch down, but we'll wait and see. But it's definitely been sort of this area here that I've been working on. It's probably been maybe 20 stitches maximum that I've put in. So it doesn't seem like it's a lot in the grand scheme with these big full coverage, but it's nice to be able to see a little bit of the difference there. And this is where it sort of fits in a little bit with the plans a bit, where the dewdrop daisy and also the mini mushroom, I eventually would love to be able to enter these into some of the royal shows that are here in Australia. So with the royal show in Canberra, it's the first one in the calendar year. I believe we've then got Sydney, and then the Echo, which is up in Queensland, around in Brisbane. right now, around this time, is the Royal Show for Adelaide. And the only way that I'm sort of remembering that is that um, uh, this morning I was watching a Flosstube, another Aussie Flosstuber, Kelly. She's Animal Instincts, and she was talking about a piece, absolutely beautiful piece that she's just recently finished, and she'd had framed up and entered into the Adelaide Royal Show. And the pictures that she showed for that piece that's been entered in, it looks really cool, and I totally appreciate the caption that she included to say that for that piece the pictures just don't do it justice. I can definitely appreciate that. I've not seen the picture in person or project in person. I've not met Kelly in person. We've met sort of via a digital stitching retreat. But yeah, I really, fingers crossed, hopefully it goes well with her, in the sense that because I think the piece is stunning. It might be a long dog sample or something similar. She's done really great stitching on that, so I'm almost anticipating to hear in her end of September piece, Flosstube episode, that she might have won a ribbon. I've just got that inkling, and I hope I haven't jinxed anything as part of saying it out loud. But it's just something where I think that, yeah, I think she's done a fantastic job on it, and yeah, I hope she gets the recognition that she deserves for that piece. And that's my long-winded way of saying that I've got plans for some of these pieces as well to at least enter it into the Canberra show. Um, I don't know which year that will be. It'll just be, again, just me enjoying the process of getting these done. And then when they're eventually done, I'll have the joy of getting them framed up. And my aim will also, if it's possible, as part of the entry conditions, if I can have the photos printed up as complementary pieces to go with Dewdrop Daisy and Mini Mushroom, just to help show, okay, this is being converted from a photo. I'll just be curious to see if any feedback is received about that. But I also totally appreciate that with the shows that the judges may not have the capacity or to be able to comment on every single piece that's entered. Maybe because there's a lot of pieces that are entered. But hey, we'll wait and see. I'm probably getting way too far ahead of myself on that one. But yeah, it'll be just something quite interesting, as part of me, yeah, slowly progressing and developing the side hustle that is hot cross stitching to get those sorts of credentials. Like, I guess not that we really need credentials per se for designing or anything like that. I guess for me as a stitcher, like, regardless of what I'm stitching on, it's more about the actual piece, the actual picture, that can draw your attention. The colours of that, the design, or it could even be the actual design, like what the project is of. And that just has me thinking of um, the haul that I've got, and a little bit of the life stuff. So we'll get into that now. Okay, so haul. Yesterday I got to travel down to Mittagong, and I met up with my mum and with my best mate Ashley, and it was really good to see them again in person. And the aim of going to Mittagong is that there's a store there called the Victoria House Needlecraft store. I get the name of that, the order of those words, a little tongue twisted and out of order sometimes for that store. But that particular store, I had a gift voucher or received a gift voucher for my birthday earlier this year from my colleagues in my current job, and it was a very generous and wonderful gift to receive from them. And so yeah, the aim was to go to Mittagong and spend that voucher, and it was just a good excuse to get out of the house, go for a drive, and head down to Mittagong. I've been to the Victoria House Needlecraft store many times. It's been a little while, perhaps pre-COVID. So maybe 3 or 4 years ago, that's probably the last time that I'd gone to the store. And yeah, anyway, um, it was really good to go there again, see the store, see if there was anything different there. And I was able to get some remaining threads that I didn't have in my stash. And I also got to pick up some Krynic. So this is the spool of Krynic that I was raving about for 12 days of Christmas. And so hopefully, yeah, so that's the Krynic, that's the details for it. So it says Krynic Metallics, very fine number 4 braid, and then it's got I don't know if these extra details help with. I think it's 017 HJ or HL, sorry, 11M for Mary. But yeah, I was really impressed with this spool of Krynic at least, and I was just raving about it. Very thankful to have purchased that. I could have gotten it from Spotlight up the road, but I guess sometimes with those stores, it's no guarantees that they'll have it on the shelf. So it's like, no, I know that with Victoria House Needlecraft store that they've got this gorgeous room that's dedicated to fabric and floss, and it is just always impressive walking into that room where it's just got a wall of DMC thread cotton. Then along another wall, they've got some of the special silks that are part of the DMC range, and then also the wools as well for the tapestries and such. And what I'm really excited about is that when I first walked into the actual store, I could see that they had some of the Cottage Garden Threads, and I wasn't quite sure how much of the collection they would have. But going then into another room where they've got all of the fabrics and threads, they've almost got like what seems to be like almost the entire range of Cottage Garden Threads, and that just makes me so happy because I know that Cottage Garden Threads are fantastic threads to work with, and that they're an Aussie brand. So I didn't go too nuts. I restrained myself, which is not normal for me in those sorts of stores because um, over the years I've spent hundreds of dollars at that store to build up my collection. But I decided to get these two. It's what is it? It's Jack Frost and Foxgloves. So I'm not quite sure what projects I'm going to use for these just yet. I've got some ideas based on some charts that I'm starting to put together. But yeah, these two, they're very pale. They're looking even paler on the screen, but Foxgloves has got some various shades of purple and blue, and then I guess with Foxgloves it's got more of the um, silver and light blue in it. But either way, they're really beautiful, and I just got excited about it because I know that with some of the other stores that I've been to that hold Cottage Garden Threads, they don't have the full range. They just have one of the collections. So that was really exciting. That was really cool to see. So I guess these are just the remaining threads that I got that I don't have in my DMC collection, which are based on these stickers that I've had for years and years and years and years. So these have come in really handy, and what I do is I bobbinate um, these, and I then put the stickers on the little bobbin things, and it helps me with tracking my stash and what colours I've got, what colours I need to pick up, fill in, anything in between. I've made the conscious choice of not picking up any of the 5200 range. The 5200 range are all those variegated threads, and uh, at the moment, like I know that the DMC have got a good range with variegated threads, but I have found that after participating in some stitchy boxes and stitching retreats and such, and receiving gifts and such, that now that I've had the taste of specialty threads and variegated colours and such, that yeah, I'm going down the rabbit hole, so to speak, of wanting to use some of those other brands instead, like the Cottage Garden Threads or the Dinky Dye Threads. I've got a couple of those in my stash, and then you've heard me talk a bit about Karen watercolor lilies or something very similar to that wording brand with Tequila Sunrise. That is for the chart that's a freebie up on the Hot Cross Stitching website. I think it's called I Count My Lucky Stars. So that's all working. That's where I've just sort of bit the bullet going now. I love the feel of it. I love the appearance that those colours give. So enough rambling though about variegated threads and specialty threads and all that jazz. I also picked up some fabric, and again I restricted myself really well. Only took up only took purchased two um, two bits of fabric. So I picked up some 18 count Ada. So yeah, this is the Victoria House Needlecraft store and all their details. So I don't often stitch 18 count, and this particular shade has got me thinking of a chart that I'm designing at the moment that could go well. That said, I was also watching another Flosstube this morning, Johnnie Saxon, or Saxon. Um, so Johnny's just recent, or about a month or so ago, he returned back from a trip over to America, and he'd gone to a couple of um, uh, cross stitch stores over there, and one of the pieces of fabric that he purchased at one of the stores was a was okay. I'm losing words at the moment. I can picture the fabric. It's part of a range that's from the Italian designer, and the name will come to me soon, I hope. But the fabric that he showed, it's part of a collection called, I think, the Bolivian Threads or Berlin range or something very similar to that, based on the historical figure, the Anne Boleyn, one of Henry VIII's wives by memory. But it's this fabric that actually has that mottled colours on it, and it's also got, I think, um, written on it, like it's the words again will come to me. It's just got these handwritten kind of printed handwriting on it, and the word that's coming to me at the moment is Sanskrit, but that's a different type of um, writing. But that particular fabric was like, oh my gosh, that fabric that I'm picturing in my mind. And if you can go and check out Johnny's most recent episode, you'll see the fabric that I'm trying to describe here. But that fabric, it's like, oh, I would love to get my hands on similar fabric, because that just would really fit with a design that I'm working on. But there's something about the hair, and it's an Italian designer. I know that we've got here in Australia Fox and Rabbit, but and they do their own fabric as well and sell it and such. It's definitely not Fox and Rabbit. Again, great people. It's the something about the hair that's coming to mind, that's connected to the fabric that I'm trying to think of. But I'll stop rambling on about that, because the other fabric that I purchased is some 28 count Brittany, and I think this is like even weave or linen or something. So it's just, yeah, 28 count. And so if so this again could fit with another design or the same design that I'm thinking of. I need to make some final tweaks and changes to the chart to be happy with it. And I know that at the moment the chart will probably be just digital only in terms of digital download, just because I know that postage is not fun for everyone in terms of physical copies and that kind of thing, and printing costs and shipping and all the rest. It's like, okay, wait and see. But I am looking forward to being able to share with you the charts that I've got in development, and my ramblings will then make sense. So, with that in mind, as part of ramblings and plans and such, and charting and all the rest, that leads me on to the next stage, or next segment, so to speak. Okay, so plans and all that stuff. So, just to recap, we've seen that I've got 2.5 finishes. So, in theory, in about 2 weeks' time, when we next catch up, I'll have the last motif of Dictionary of Dogs finished, and I might be starting on the backstitch for that project. I will have framed up 12 Days of Christmas, in theory, that based on being able to find a frame that I like and want for that project. And I will have framed up uh, Water Tiger 2, and the stitching words, spit out wording. So I know that I've got a whole heap of other projects that I could be working on, because we've seen all of that over the last few months, when we've had the AFL stitching challenge happening and all that jazz. And in terms of the stitching challenge, okay, so today's the 3rd of September. So Thursday, the 6th, perhaps. Anyway, this coming Thursday, this is when finals are going to start to happen, and the teams will then be fighting it out to play in the grand final. And so this is the fixture that will happen over the next couple of weeks, starting this coming Thursday, it will be the team sort of knocking themselves out, so to speak, like not literally fisticuffs or anything like that, but that if a team loses um, the their game, the losing team doesn't progress any further. And then the winning team then goes on to like the quarterfinals, and then it'll be the finals. So these are almost like preliminaries. That's what the AFL calls it. I'm just trying to think of other wording and other sports if anyone here watches them, or even participates in them. So I guess at the moment these are like the quarterfinals. I think it goes quarterfinal, semi-final, grand final, something like that. So I guess that these are almost the quarterfinals. Anyway, I'm not going to go into detail about it because I don't fully understand it just yet. So I know that I could be working on a lot of the charts that or patterns that are still connected to the teams that are going to play. Um, they'll eventually get worked on because many of the charts, like the Barnyard Kittens and the Midnight Owls and Midnight Glow and all those projects, they've still got a lot of work to be done on them. So um, yeah, they'll get done next year. They'll get worked on, and hey, who knows? This time next year, I might be all excited about the finish for zebras, the finish for barnyard, the finish for who else? Midnight Owls, and I might be 2 pages away from getting Midnight Glow done. Um, so yeah, who knows? Look, there's still heaps to go, but as part of in link with some lifestyle stuff, I've got my eye on getting some of the Black Needle Society finishes done. This is Summer in Stars Hollow, and this is what I had made a start on as part of some prompts for a challenge for the most recent stitching box that we had. So the interesting challenge that I have here is that I've got just a little bit of fabric that will be left on the edge. My mistake. I will be able to get it fixed. I will try and reduce how much I grumble about it and talk about it, because I know that I've got some options available that I can try and use to, I guess, make myself feel just a little bit better about um, my mistake. But I guess this is the edge over here. I'm not showing the cover page for this project because I've got it just only as a digital download, and with the way that the mock-up is appearing in Pattern Keeper, it would I guess give too much of what the chart could be away. So if by chance you are curious about what the finished look will be for Summer and Stars Hollow, go to the Black Needle Society website. They might have some charts there available for purchase. Otherwise, yeah, have you. Blah, 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 blah. When I can find my words, I'm sorry. Um, I know that there have been quite a few people who have done like unboxing videos. Check out Instagram. I know that a lot of people will have posted pictures of their progress with Summer and Stars Hollow, and hopefully there's a hashtag to do with that as well. So that can hopefully help you with finding any pictures there if you're curious about that. So with this project, I know that I am doing some personalizations in it because I don't have all of the called for colors. That said, one of the really cool things that that I learnt when I went to Mittagong yesterday is that the Mittagong, the Victoria House Needlecraft store, they do stock some of the week's dye works. Sorry about that. Um, Traffic. I do have the window open a little bit just because it got really warm in here, and it is still a bit warm, but traffic. I can't do anything about it. Anyway, my point though, I'm getting distracted. I'm sorry. My point though is that this is what I love with the chart. So using some of the personalizations is that it's enabling me to use some colors in my current collection that I might not normally be able to use, because 9 times out of 10 I will try to stitch the called for color with the called for colors. Um, and I mean, usually even within that, that's when I still end up doing some personalizations because of how I see the chart and how I then count. So with that in mind, I definitely want to get Summer and Stars Hollow done. And my deadline, and this is one of the firm deadline things that I'm wanting to try and work towards, 31st of March. That is when the last installment of um, the Black Needle Society Stars Hollow digital stitching retreat is going to occur. So that is where my goal, my stitching goal, is to try and get as much of summer and spring in Stars Hollow done as I can. So I know that is one of my stitching updates many months ago. I'd shown some progress on Spring and Stars Hollow, and that's what it should look like when it's done. So I'm going to be stitching it on the fabric that I'd also stitched Autumn in Stars Hollow on. And because of where my placement was for Autumn in Stars Hollow, I'm actually stitching Spring above it. Um, so I guess ideally it should have been across this way, but each to their own. So that's where I'm at with Spring and Stars Hollow. And Spring and Stars Hollow had actually been my travel piece for when I'd gone up to Queensland in July for a running event that I participated in, and I have done a little bit more work on it since July, but it's definitely been a while. And just looking at it again, and even looking at the project for Summer and Stars Hollow, it's just got me. I've got that itch and that motivation, and I've then also it's got me thinking about Winter in Stars Hollow and the quote from Gilmore Girls that always makes me think of Lorelai with Winter is, "I smell snow." She says that phrase a bit throughout all of the like in the entire series, but it always makes me think of the first season of Gilmore Girls and the way that she just gets so childlike excitement with snow arriving, and that she it's like, I can smell snow. I smell snow, and just knowing just the first snowflakes that are going to come, and just how happy it makes her. Um, so yeah, it's just got me thinking of all those things with that, and so I guess potentially after I've finished this recording, getting the whole editing thing sorted out and getting this uploaded, that I'm definitely keen to get onto stitching with the Stars Hollow stuff. And yeah, it'll be good. It'll be exciting. Um, I don't know if there's much more that I can say with the Stars Hollow stuff. I guess if I'm needing a break from some of the Stars Hollow stitching, just as part of getting organised for this Flosstube, I was then going, oh, that's right, yeah, I haven't worked on a couple of other projects for what feels like a million years or donkey's years. So it just got me thinking, that's right, I haven't worked on the Blue Mountains Walking Trail project. I know that near the start of the AFLC footy season that I was going to use this piece as one of the called for projects whenever one of the teams won a game. I think partway through the season, I lost my piece of paper where I noted down all the details, and then I came across a different project and started working on, I think, Midnight Owls instead, because of the blue. Anyway, yeah, so when I do want something that's just a little bit more challenging, I'll probably get back into the Blue Mountains Walking Trail, just because it's just looking at this now and having a bit of a chat about it. It's just reminding me just how much progress I have actually made with it, and that I know I can at least start to see that a lot of the here the fern trees, like the trees from the walking trail. So to help put into perspective, I'll try and bring up the cover picture for it, because I know that at the moment it's just like a splash of colour and that's it, or a splash of greens, for lack of any other wording. Okay, so that's what the Blue Mountains Walking Trail will look like. So it's pretty much the top of the chart that you can start to see the ferns, and um, that's sort of what it'll look like. And the other project that I do really want to see some project progress on is a heaven and earth design that I've had in the works for many years, and it's the Moonlit Waters Max Colors. The artwork is by Lisa Fain, um, and it's one that I've said that I want to stitch for my sister, and this is pretty much sort of where it's at. It's still just a little bit below. Yeah. Oh, hang on. Is this no, upside down? So, yeah. It's one of those things where, similar to when we do like our whip parades, or going through our stash again and having a chat about it, it's that reminder of, oh, that's right, I've got that in my stash, got this, got that. Oh, what, and just seeing it all in front of you again, it's like it can be almost that excitement but overwhelming feeling of, wow, I've got so much that I want to work on, but I don't know if I'm ever going to have the time to do it. And it it just reminds me again of the Flosstube episode that I was watching this morning, Johnnie Saxon's Flosstube channel, where he was talking about that comparing all of us who do the cross stitch and all the rest, that we're almost like collectors of art. And I love the way that he put that, because I absolutely agree that it is like, even if it's not the cross stitch, it's like if you're into some other kind of crafting as well, that you start to build up a collection, and that you are very much the procurers of art, and uh, we could all very much pretend to be either the posh knobs that are um, not projected but um, personified, whatever the special wording I'm looking for, um, are presented to us in the movies and the TV shows, and all the rest. But if not, we're the connoisseurs, so to speak, of that sort of stuff as well. So either way, it's going to be pretty cool. I'm looking forward to seeing what other projects I can get done by the end of this calendar year. And I do also aim to hopefully have an episode or a segment dedicated to the stitching challenge that I did this year, just to help with presenting the stats of, I guess, how many stitches were actually put into some of the projects based on the number of games that were won by the different teams, and what their points were, and how that all worked. So that's again part of the plans, part of the pipeline of all the rest. So that episode will probably be mid to late September, once the grand final has happened, and based on how life is going to be for September, it'll probably be early October when it happens. So with that in mind, I've got a bit of life stuff to catch you all up on. So let's get into that. Okay, so life stuff. Um, if by chance you follow me on Instagram, or we're friends on Facebook, you may have seen me post a picture of me wearing two different coloured shoes. So I'm cross stitch runner. I stitch when I can, as stitching every day, running when I can. So I bought two pairs of shoes, and I was all excited about the new pairs. And I've gone for a few runs in both pairs, not the two pairs at the same time. Um, so one run I'd go on with the orange pair, then a different run I'll be wearing the blue pair. So the orange one I've nicknamed Tequila Sunrise because it makes me think of the cross stitch thread that I'm using for um, I count my lucky stars, and then the blue purple pair makes me think of a unicorn, just based on like the colors that I've seen on TV, movies, internet, that kind of stuff. Um, those blues and purples and that kind of thing, for some odd reason, make me think of a unicorn. So I've nicknamed my shoes Tequila Sunrise and Unicorn, and both things are actually kind of comfy. I've learned that um, the blue purple pair, my unicorns, they I had hoped were going to be good for longer runs, but not so much. My feet disagree with it. So long runs for me are longer than 5 kilometers, or 3.1 miles. And so um, the the unicorn shoes are now being used for my short runs, which is anything from 0 up to about 5 kilometers, maybe a touch longer. I have learned that I can sort of readjust how my laces are tied up to enable some of my feet, certain areas of my feet, to get some extra room so they're not too uncomfortable in terms of rubbing. But yeah, Tequila Sunrise, they do well too. But yeah, I just got excited about getting a new pair of shoes. I won't ramble on too much about how they feel or anything like that. But yeah, that's turned out really well. I'm really glad that they arrived. And when I have been doing the running, that there are times when my legs will just feel tired. Um, so yeah, having the new shoes have just helped with getting that extra bit of spring into them. So it's a bit like if you ride a bike or you drive a car or something, you've pumped the tires up a bit. You might feel that the car might handle just a little bit better before you put the air in the tires. So, or that you might even have new tires put onto your mode of transport, and it just feels almost like new. That's what it's a bit like with the new pair of shoes. That um, they feel like they've got a bit of a freshen up. That they've got that air put into them, so to speak. And it's meant that with some of the runs that I've done, around certain points in time, I would start to feel tired or and want to walk or something. But with some of the at some points in time, the shoes almost give me a second wind, so to speak. It's like, actually, hang on, no, I can keep going. This is going to be okay. So that's been all right. Today I did go for a run, and yeah, it was a tough session. It was hard. I don't often stop during my runs to get a breather, but I felt that I needed to get a breather because of the way the session was. And I'm not beating myself up or anything about it. It was just, yeah, I needed the breather. I got the session done. Happy that I got the session done. And it's all part of me leading towards the goal of trying to run 5 kilometers in about 30 minutes. And I'm also trying to train for a fun run that is happening in Canberra. I think within the first weekend or so of November. It's an event that I've participated in over many years. So I'm looking forward to doing that, and yeah, hopefully I can use one of the pairs for that session, for that run. That'll be good. And because it's in November, the weather will still be a little bit dicey, but hopefully it'll be all right. It'll be good. Yeah, so I guess with the life stuff as well. Yeah, definitely been trying to get some charts, plans sorted out for cross stitch sort of stuff. And just when I think that I'm getting used to being here in Wollongong, there's always a curveball that ends up happening, and things just don't quite go the way I think they're gonna go. Um, I'd like to think that I can put it down to like the full moon. There was the big super moon that happened. Oh no, the blue moon. Sorry, that happened at the end of August. And as much as many people might go, nah, 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 that's all airy fairy stuff. The moon doesn't really have that much of an impact for people's moods and that kind of thing. I totally beg to differ. I really beg to differ. Um, with the full moon, I think it's just based on people I know, what I've heard with what's happening in their lives, let alone how it's having an impact on mine or remotely not impacting. Um, yeah, it was rough leading up to and just passing the full moon. I feel like I'm just starting to recover now. To put into perspective, um, it was a full moon in the astrological sign of Pisces. My star sign is Pisces, very emotional, creative, and all the rest. And with the different things that I've read, seen on the internet, and all the rest, I know that people have said that with the full moon, both literally and figuratively, it sort of shines light on everything. And especially with it being like a super moon, blue moon thing, it's just that little bit close, that's so much closer to the earth, or it's closer to the moon. And it just really highlights everything. And for me, it just highlighted a few things in my life that I need to change and improve on, and all stuff that I thought that I'd improved but hadn't. And as cryptic as that is, I totally appreciate. It's more just changing my thoughts, and improving how I view the world, how I cope with stress, because stress is part of life. I totally acknowledge that, and that there will always be times in all of our lives that we'll get curveballs and surprises. And in my case, it's how I choose to handle those surprises, or how I choose to handle those stresses that I might see coming. And it's how I choose to react to those circumstances that I thought I had worked on, I thought I had dealt with, but this moon proved to me that I haven't figured it out all yet. Still got to work on it. Um, but yeah, we'll get there. It'll be okay. Um, that's sort of it for me with life stuff, that kind of thing, or almost. It's more me trying to stop rambling. I know that next weekend, Michael and I are planning on heading to Canberra again. It's been a month. It's been, yeah, roughly a month since we last, a bit over a month since we last headed to Canberra. With the weekend that we're just finishing up on, Michael did come back from spending a few days down at the coast with his parents, and it was really good that he was able to do that. But yeah, we really need to get down to Canberra, check on the house, make sure everything's all good, do whatever tidy ups, maintenance that we need to do. And yeah, I'll hopefully catch up with some people that we haven't seen for what feels like a really long time. And yeah, still see family and all as well. Hopefully that can work out. But I will now definitely leave it at that. I'll stop rambling, and I hope you all have a great time, great stitching time, and all the rest. And I'm really looking forward to sharing with you more stitching stuff in a couple of weeks' time. Catch you later.